Your GPA at USF is critical to your short and long-term success. They can be required to declare certain majors, allow you to keep your scholarships like Florida Bright Futures, and can be required for future employment and graduate school options. Let's say that it is your first fall, your classes are all going great except for one. You just never seem to be able to find your footing in this class. You have a scholarship that requires you to keep a 3.0 GPA. The first step is to use faculty office hours to create an action plan to pass this class. You must reaffirm to your professor that it is your goal to pass. Do not look for them to give you permission to drop. But let's say after the meeting you both agree that a drop is best. The deadline to drop a class is normally around the 60% mark of the semester, right after midterms. The date changes every year, so check the USF academic calendar. You can drop the class to keep the bad grade off your record, but you will still have to pay for the class. Also, if you paid for the class using a scholarship like Bright Futures, you will be required to pay them back, usually somewhere between $300 to $700. So the first question is, how many hours at your part-time job would you have to work in order to make this money? Would you have been better off dedicating yourself to passing the class in the first place? The second step is to contact the USF Financial Aid Department to confirm what dropping this class means for you in the short term, i.e. owing money immediately, and in the long term, i.e. how does this affect your eligibility for next year. The final step is to run all that info from your teacher and the financial aid department by your academic advisor so that you two can create a final plan together. Now let's say the same teacher from the last slide encourages you to keep the class. You do not drop it, the deadline passes, you attempt the final exam, and you end up with a D in the class. You are now upset that your professor did not encourage you to drop. You can retake the class in the future. You do not have to retake the same professor. You get a better grade, and we swap the grades out on your GPA. This is called a grade forgiveness. But please note, the old grade will never leave your transcript. You cannot use grade forgiveness to re-enter a major after being dismissed, and you cannot take that class at another institution and use forgiveness at USF. You only get 3 grade forgivenesses over your entire 4 years at USF, as opposed to withdrawals where you get 3 your first 2 years and 2 your second 2 years. Whenever you have questions on policies like this, always see your academic advisor.